Well, tonight, a woman is in custody charged with murder from a shooting earlier today in Columbus. Now, this happened just before 2 o'clock this afternoon on Drew Heights Place in southeast Columbus. Police found 21-year-old Jihad Hughes shot. He was taken to a hospital where he died. Police arrested 44-year-old Laquandra Williams and charged her with murder. Police say the incident appears to have started with a domestic dispute.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I be working hard, working hard, and he worked at a car light. And I said to Jihad yesterday, I said, Jihad, if I was to die today, you wouldn't even get the inheritance that you're supposed to get because I put my money with the Navy Federal. You wouldn't even get it because you're not even doing what you're supposed to do. You know, everybody else, like, I was just so angry with him, but like, yo, I didn't mean to do that. Like, I'm serious. He kept walking up, and that's when I pointed it at him. But yo, that's my son. I ain't never.
She called him every day when he was deployed, worried about his safety overseas. But when Jihad Hughes returned home to Ohio, the person who would take his life wasn't a foreign enemy, it was the woman who gave him life. Two sisters placed the most devastating call of their lives. Their voices shake as they tell emergency dispatchers something that defies nature itself. Their own mother has just fired a bullet into their brother's back. When police arrive at the Drew Heights apartment complex, they find a scene that will haunt even veteran officers. 21-year-old Jihad Hughes lies motionless, a single gunshot wound through his back telling the story of his final moments. His mother, 45-year-old Laquandra Williams, stands nearby in shock, the weapon still within reach. This isn't random violence. No stranger broke into their home. No masked intruder brought terror to their doorstep. This is something far more devastating, a mother who aimed a gun at her own child and pulled the trigger. Reynoldsburg typically enjoys suburban peace, known for quiet neighborhoods near Rickenbacker Air National Guard Base. But today, this community confronts a truth that shatters every assumption about family safety. The emergency call forces everyone to face an uncomfortable reality. Sometimes our greatest danger lives under our own roof. The key witnesses to this family destruction share the victim's blood. Jihad's sisters watched their household implode in real time, helpless to stop the catastrophe they sensed approaching but prayed would never come. The question consuming investigators isn't just what happened in that apartment, it's how a routine family disagreement could escalate into execution. How does a mother's love transform into lethal rage in the span of minutes? Before we continue, if real-life family crime grips you, hit like, drop your thoughts in the comments, and smash subscribe with the bell so you never miss a new case on Fatal Family Network. To understand this tragedy, we must first understand Laquandra Williams, a woman whose entire existence revolved around caring for others. Born in March 1979, she had built her life around her business, Healing Hands and Hearts LLC, providing in-home health care to veterans who depended on her services. Her work demanded everything from her, nearly hour-long drives to New Lexington, often through dark rural roads at night, caring for patients who needed her expertise. The isolation of traveling alone through remote areas led her to make what seemed like a practical decision, purchasing firearms for protection, one for herself, one for her son Jihad. The crushing irony would soon become apparent. The weapon meant to protect her family would destroy it. Those who knew Laquandra professionally described her as devoted, going beyond required duties for her clients. But underneath this professional facade lived a woman carrying an enormous burden. Since relocating to Ohio in 2012, Laquandra had been raising her children essentially alone. The weight of running a business, maintaining VA contracts, and ensuring her family's financial survival pressed down on her constantly. She pushed her children relentlessly, admitting she could be aggressive in her parenting, driven by fierce determination to see them succeed. Her relationship with Jihad had grown increasingly volatile in recent months. What once seemed like typical mother-son disagreements had evolved into something far more dangerous. The tension between them had been building for weeks. Jihad, now 21 and a military veteran, was asserting his independence in ways that threatened the family structure Laquandra had fought to maintain. On this particular day, Their conflict would reach its breaking point over something as simple as a missing car, the same vehicle essential to Laquandra's livelihood and her family's survival. Jihad Hughes came into this world on June 24, 2002, in Youngstown, Ohio. His parents never married, but they shared one dream, giving their son every opportunity to succeed. When his father started a new family, Jihad stayed with Laquandra, growing up in a household where disappointing mom meant facing serious consequences. People who knew Jihad described him as quiet but confident. He wasn't someone who filled silence with unnecessary words, but when he spoke, others listened. His deep faith anchored him, and gospel music became his outlet for emotions he couldn't always express at home. Church became his refuge. After graduating from Groveport Madison High School in 2021, Jihad made a choice that would define everything about his young adult life. He enlisted in the military. This wasn't just about career prospects. This was his declaration of independence, his way of saying he could build a future on his own terms. Military service changes people. It teaches discipline, responsibility, and how to handle pressure. When Jihad returned home on leave in early 2024, he brought back all those qualities. But military training couldn't prepare him for navigating the minefield his family had become. The relationship between mother and son had reached a dangerous point. Laquandra saw a young man who wasn't living up to her expectations, who wasn't following the path she'd sacrificed everything to create. Jihad saw a mother who refused to accept that he was no longer a child she could control and direct. This fundamental disconnect was eating away at both of them. Every conversation became a potential battleground. Every decision Jihad made felt like defiance to Laquandra, while every demand she made felt suffocating to him. The afternoon everything went wrong started innocently enough. Jihad had agreed to help a friend with a vehicle repossession at a car lot. Simple favor, easy money. He borrowed one of his mother's cars to get there. In his mind, this was routine: help a friend, handle some business, return the car later. He had no way of knowing this ordinary decision would trigger the chain of events that would cost him his life. Text messages started flying between mother and son. Laquandra demanded to know where her car was. Her frustration grew with each response from Jihad that seemed dismissive or unclear. When he finally texted back, "I'm not going to do this with you," those 8 words lit a fuse that had been waiting to explode. Laquandra returned home between client visits to find her car still missing. The vehicle she depended on for her livelihood, for her family's survival, was somewhere else, while her son gave her what felt like attitude and excuses. Her daughters were home, along with a male friend, when the confrontation began. What started as raised voices quickly turned physical when Laquandra's anger overtook her judgment. She grabbed a glass and hurled it toward Jihad. The glass sailed harmlessly over his head, but that moment changed everything. Words had become actions. Family discussion had become family violence. Jihad's response was immediate. For the first time in their relationship, he physically grabbed his mother and threw her to the ground. Even Laquandra would later admit this was unprecedented. Despite all their arguments over the years, Jihad had never put his hands on her before this.
But it went over, he said it didn't touch him. And then he grabbed me up and threw me in the liver, which was something he never, ever done. And we have had arguments, but he never, ever put his hands on me, ever. And
the witnesses, Jihad's own sisters, tried desperately to intervene. They shouted for both of them to stop, but their pleas fell on deaf ears. The situation escalated further when Laquandra, feeling overpowered by her son's strength, reached for a kitchen knife. Now the argument had become genuinely dangerous, but Jihad managed to disarm his mother, taking the knife away from her. In that moment he probably thought the worst was over. The physical confrontation had ended. He had neutralized the threat. Now he could simply remove himself from the situation. He made the decision that should have saved his life. He chose to leave, but Laquandra wasn't finished. Her rage had only intensified. The witnesses heard her tell Jihad, "I'm going to show you something," before she stormed out of the apartment. Those words carried the weight of a threat she fully intended to keep. Jihad's sisters immediately understood the danger. They knew their mother kept a gun in her car. They locked the doors and called, not showing maturity beyond their years. But it wouldn't be enough to save their brother. Outside, Jihad gathered his belongings, preparing to leave. He was walking away from the conflict, carrying bags, clearly trying to de-escalate by removing himself from the situation entirely. This should have been the end of their argument. Instead, it became the end of his life. Laquandra retrieved the weapon from her vehicle, the same gun she had purchased to protect her family. She aimed it at her son's back as he walked away from her. Jihad wasn't threatening her. He wasn't advancing toward her. He was leaving, which is exactly what any conflict resolution expert would recommend. But in that moment, Laquandra Williams made a choice that would haunt everyone who loved them both. She pulled the trigger. The bullet struck Jihad in the back, dropping him to the ground instantly. His final words to his mother were simple but devastating. "Oh my God, you shot me." In those 5 words lay all the betrayal, confusion, and disbelief that comes with being killed by the person who was supposed to protect you above all others. The woman who had worried about his safety overseas had become the very danger she had feared he would face.
All right, hon, come on out here. Just watch your head right up top here. There you go. One step at a time. There. There we go. Okay. Okay. Yeah. You want to uncuff? Okay. All right, Miss Hughes.
William.
I'm sorry?
William.
Your last name's Williams?
Yeah.
What's your full name?
Laquandra. Laquandra Williams.
Hey, can I get your help on 20? I've got this anything this fire's been hanging out on for over 3 hours.
Shante Williams. My kid's last name is their father's last name.
Figuring that out? Do what? Yeah. All right. Do me a favor. Just put your hands down your side for me.
If he passed away or not.
I just got here. Kathy, look this way, please. Thank you. Face that way for me, please. And face the truck. Just face it away from me. Thank you. Hands down your side for me, please. Thank you. Okay, now face this way. Last spot. There you go. Just gonna get one close up of your face. Do you have any injuries, ma'am?
My shoulder just hurt. That's all.
Your shoulder? Which shoulder? Both of them? Okay. All right, do me a favor. Just put your hands out like this for me. Thank you.
Why did it take so long to tell you what's going on?
Well, we're not at the hospital either, so we don't know.
Y'all doing all this, it seemed like it's bad.
Well, there was a crime that occurred, and somebody got shot. So yeah, it's bad.
Jesus have mercy.
Inside the sterile walls of Columbus Police Headquarters, Laquandra Williams faced detectives who had the impossible task of understanding how a mother becomes her child's executioner. The interrogation room's fluorescent lights illuminated a woman who had just committed the most unthinkable act imaginable. The detectives started with basics: name, education, medications, establishing a baseline while studying the person responsible for destroying her own family. Laquandra appeared cooperative, even clear-headed as she answered questions about her bronchitis medication and confirmed she hadn't been drinking or using drugs.
If he's alive or not.
Well, I'm still waiting for an update from the people
Okay,
that are out there.
I'll go to the bathroom.
Okay, are you handcuffed or not?
Yes.
Okay.
Waiting for the people update. What? Who to update?
Well, we got people at the hospital, so we're waiting for it to lead up to all of this. Can you tell me what happened?
So I was I came home early in between my 2 clients, and Jihad used my car, and I asked him where he took my car at, because he took my car to the shop and left it there. And I said, well, how long did you leave it there, and what did they do? My car's not riding away, I just got my car fixed. So he wouldn't answer me. So I walked back to the room and I went back into the living room where he was at, and he got up to grab his stuff, and I said, I'm talking to you, answer me. And so I threw a glass, but it went over to his head like a candle, but it went over his head. It didn't touch him. And then he grabbed me up and threw me in the living room, which was something he never, ever done. And we have had arguments, but he never, ever put his hands on me. Ever.
When pressed about the shooting, Laquandra painted herself as the victim. She claimed Jihad had attacked her first, that she'd grabbed the knife only to defend herself, that she'd retrieved the gun because she feared for her safety.
And I was trying to get him off of me. I was getting a knife because I know, like, he's stronger than I am, way stronger than I know. And out of impulse, like, I shouldn't have. Yeah, a lot. It was tussle in the kitchen. I went outside because he carried one of my other guns. I went outside and got a gun because I didn't want him to hurt me. But yeah, I'll take responsibility. That's my child. I don't want that to happen to any of my kids.
In her version, she was the one under threat, but detectives had already spoken to the witnesses, Jihad's sisters, who told a completely different story. Their testimony revealed Laquandra as the aggressor, the one who escalated the argument from words to violence, while Jihad had remained relatively calm throughout. As the interrogation continued, Laquandra's story began falling apart. When asked directly if she'd seen Jihad with a weapon that day, she admitted she hadn't. When pressed about whether he'd threatened her with a gun, she acknowledged he never mentioned having one. Her justification for shooting him, that she feared he would attack her with the weapon she'd given him, crumbled under basic questioning. The most damaging contradiction came when discussing those final moments outside. Laquandra admitted Jihad was carrying bags, clearly trying to leave. She acknowledged he appeared to be walking away, not toward her in any threatening manner. Yet she had still made the conscious decision to pull the trigger.
So what happened inside when you guys were fighting? Did the girls get involved at all at any point?
Yeah, they were they were telling him to stop. Stop. They were saying stop so she can stop. Stop so she can stop. But he wouldn't stop.
They said they were trying to take the knife away from you.
Because he's stronger than I am. I'm going to, even the grease, I threw the grease at him because he's on me. I can't get him.
I mean, we're going off of what they're telling us.
It's okay.
And it sounded the way that they described things.
Yeah, I'm aggressive.
Yeah, and I mean, did you ever hit them?
When they was like little, or even somebody last year, well, the year, not last year, but the year before that, graduation time, maybe May. Yeah, I was always a very aggressive parent, so they wouldn't do wrong and stuff. So yeah, I can understand why they say that.
Because they said part of what was going on with Jihad tonight was that he just said he was done. He was tired of getting his,
But
tired of getting hit.
Yeah, look how big he is compared to me. I can't hit him with nothing. I threw a candle at the wall over him. It didn't even touch him. But yeah, I can understand them saying that I have been a very, very strong disciplinarian.
Do you guys fight regularly?
Yeah.
You do?
But he never put his hands on me before. But we get into it a whole lot.
Verbally or physically?
It's always verbally. It's never been physical. And this is the first physical time.
So if you didn't see the gun, he didn't threaten you with a gun, why'd you pull the trigger? I mean, what were you thinking at that point?
He was gonna keep going at it, keep coming after me, keep going.
But did he have his bags with him like he was leaving?
Yeah, he had his bag with me. It was like he was leaving. He was laughing. Yeah.
So at that point, it seemed like he was leaving and the fight was over. No?
Were you just really mad by that point?
No, I wasn't mad. I just. I thought you had it. I know he always have it on him. Like, I don't know what transpired to be between him saying, I'm going to kill you and your boyfriend to make it bigger than that.
Detectives recognized the signs of someone trying to rationalize an irrational act. Her claims of self-defense didn't match the physical evidence or witness statements. The shooting occurred while Jihad was leaving, struck in the back as he walked away from his mother. The most revealing moment came when Laquandra described what Jihad said after being shot. "Oh my God, you shot me." Those words carried the weight of betrayal, confusion, and disbelief that someone supposed to protect him had instead taken his life. Then came the moment that shattered what remained of Laquandra's world. After hours of questioning and investigation, detectives delivered news that would haunt her forever.
I will tell you, unfortunately, your son did not make it.
Oh, God.
The reaction was immediate and devastating. She cried out, reality finally breaking through whatever psychological barriers had been protecting her.
I'm so sorry.
What?
They worked on him for at least close to an hour. But he did survive his injuries.
Take me. You can take me. I don't deserve that. He didn't either. Yo. God.
Well, I think you need to do his name justice, and I know that that's not true that he was attacking you.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. But it's okay. It's okay.
No,
It's
I want you
alright.
to tell the truth. I only want the truth. I don't want you to say something just because it's not true, but
I don't
both
have
your
to
girls-
lie.
both your
I don't
girls
have to
said that.
lie. I don't have to lie. I'm not gonna say nothing that's not true. Like, I have to live with this. You know what I'm saying?
But I
I'm
think you're angry, though. I think you're angry because we all get angry at times. I mean, it's like we both have kids.
We both have
We know
adult
how
kids that live in our
frustrating it is
house.
to try to get through. But I think, unfortunately, that you probably were angry and the pressure probably got to you.
Yeah. But y'all, I'm so sorry, y'all. Oh. And I know.
The woman who had spent hours trying to justify her actions as self-defense suddenly found herself confronted with the undeniable truth: she had killed her own child. Now, she began speaking more honestly about the pressures consuming her life.
Your 18-year-old said to tell you that she loves you.
Sorry, y'all. Tell him I'm sorry. I was so angry because he don't listen to nothing I say. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I be working hard, working hard, and he work at a car light. He worked at a car light, and I said to Jihad yesterday, I said, Jihad, if I was to die today, you wouldn't even get the inheritance that you're supposed to get because I put my money with the Navy forever. You wouldn't even get it because you're not even doing what you're supposed to do. You know, everybody else, like, I was just so angry with him, but like, y'all, I didn't mean to do that. Like, I'm serious.
These words revealed the resentment that had been eating away at their relationship. In Laquandra's mind, Jihad's choices weren't just disappointing, they were a rejection of everything she had sacrificed to provide for him. The legal system moved swiftly. Laquandra Williams was charged with murder and felonious assault, her bond set at $1 million. The evidence was overwhelming: multiple witnesses, her own contradictory statements, physical evidence showing Jihad was shot while walking away. But this case revealed more than just legal guilt. Social media became a window into the hidden struggles the Williams family had endured. One of Laquandra's daughters posted a message that provided crucial insight: "I forgive her, and my mom is a great mother. She has always been. She always tried to be so strong. My mom had no one to talk to. She had no one to take her children when she just needed a break. No one was there." These messages painted a picture of a woman genuinely caring in her professional life, but privately battling demons that ultimately consumed her family. 6 months after the shooting, Laquandra accepted a plea deal rather than face trial. She was sentenced to life in prison with the possibility of parole after 18 years. At 45 years old, she would be eligible for release at 63, assuming she met all parole requirements. The Williams family tragedy serves as a stark reminder that domestic violence wears many faces. This wasn't stranger danger or random violence. This was a mother who killed her child, destroying 2 lives in a single moment of uncontrolled rage. The isolation Laquandra experienced as a single mother created a perfect storm of stress without adequate support systems. The decision to keep firearms in the home, initially made for protection, ultimately provided the means for this tragedy to occur. Jihad Hughes, a young veteran who survived military service overseas, lost his life not to foreign enemies but to the person who was supposed to love and protect him most. His sisters lost both a brother and a mother in one devastating afternoon, left to carry the weight of what they witnessed for the rest of their lives. Sometimes the greatest danger we face comes from those closest to us, and sometimes love and protection can transform into something deadly in ways we never see coming. Family should be a refuge, but even the closest ties can fracture. Stay alert, Look out for one another and reach out if you sense danger. See you in the next story here on Fatal Family Network. Thanks for watching.